Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and it seems Nintendo has finally decided to step into the realm of Bond villainy because they are pulling some moves that are reminiscent of just a mega evil corporation. From Polygon, shocking Pokemon patent raises red flags for game makers. The Pokemon Company and Nintendo's Power World fight intensifies. I don't know if is this related to the Power World fight? Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have been granted a patent related to the Pokemon series, which could pose a fundamental threat to creativity and innovation in the games industry, according to a new report and analysis from a patent lawyer. The patent relates to gameplay mechanics introduced in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games, and but the broad nature of the newly issued grant could impact games that use summoning mechanics. When did these games come out? Scarlet, not 2022. So if this patent was it filed in 2022? You know what? It's right here. Uh, as originally reported by Games Fray, U.S. patent number. Yep, that lines up. Yep, was filed in 2023 by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and granted approval by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office on September 2nd without objection. So there it is. It's 2023, and just now went through on September 2nd. Did they say when in 2023? All right, well, let's just assume it took 2 years to go through. So this would have been before Power World was out, but not out of development. It would have been still, it would have already been a game in the making. See, the patent covers the gameplay mechanics of summoning a character and letting it fight another. In other words, your standard Pokemon battle. It's a patent, so it's going to be way more complex than that, way more detailed. But it seems like Nintendo's trying to patent something they didn't invent, and that has been a mechanic in games for years and years now, well before Pokemon or Nintendo even thought of. Maybe even earlier Nintendo games might have done it as well, but I don't think Pokemon invented it. Yeah. Naturally, the full patent is more specifically defined. I do that a lot. Denoting a character moving in a virtual space who summons a sub character that can move and automatically fight another character. You can review the full 45-page patent at the Internet Archive for an in depth explanation. That's this right here. It is legal speech, so be prepared if you want to go through and look at it. I'm like only on page 24 or 40. Yeah, I'm not even halfway through this thing. Or well, I'm almost exactly halfway through this thing, but like it's a bit of a read, and there's a lot of questionable language and really murky territory. I'll include a link in the description for anybody that wants to read it for themselves or at least look through it because it has mechanics about the actual console, the Switch console as well, and like how they function with the game. So it's very detailed. Games Fray, which covers regulatory issues related to the gaming industry and has closely monitored the legal battle between Power World maker Pocket Pair and the Pokemon Company, calls the quick approval of the patent 397 an actually shocking development. Author Florian Mueller argues the patent grant is bad news for video game industry. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Florian Mueller, you are correct. This is bad news for the video game industry. Patent lawyer Kirk Sigmund seems to agree with that take. In a report from PC Gamer, Sigmund says the USPTO's quick and uncontested approval of Patent 397 was extremely unusual and raises a large number of red flags. See, I don't know anything about patent approval. I barely know anything about patents. Just a little bit about business law, but like patents, oh man, they're so in depth, and there's so many loopholes and regulations, and I don't know. 2 years seemed like a long time for me, but I guess everyone else is saying that this is not a long time; it's a short time. So there you have it. Maybe these experts are right, maybe they're wrong. Bad patents like this cast a massive shadow on the industry, Sigmund said. Whether Nintendo and the Pokemon Company will engage in lawfare over the patent approvals beyond their war with Pocket Pair remains to be seen. But what is clear is that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have new tools with which to go after Pokemon inspired competitors that might offend the Japanese company behind those games. The Power World developer has already changed its in game response to legal action. Is this about the mounts? The December, yeah, that was about the mounts. But there you go. Um, Again, I should actually look this up. How was Power in development? Hate this keyboard. So since 2021. So yeah, if this patent was filed in 2023, and it's just crazy that they're trying to do these like retro patents. Like we're trying to patent something after the fact because the game came out, and then what, a year later you wait to patent something. What happened to the days when a company would file for a patent before they release it? Before the Nintendo released, the D-pad configuration for moving characters was patented. Like, but bam, there we go. We got it. We secured it. We're going to release it. Then people can't copy us. Genius. Back then, it was a highly open market. There was so much variation and creativity that the world could do. Now that video games have established mechanics that people are familiar with, these should be like unalienable rights in the video game creation industry. You have a character because, like, what's to stop the creators of video games from saying, all right, well, we want to patent a figure made of digital coding on a background made of digital coding that can be controlled and moved around through electronic inputs of some sort of controller or device. And then boom, oh, what, all video games are fucking banned forever? Oh, I don't know. That's my little rant about it. This Nintendo shit really pisses me off because Nintendo was was unquestionably the greatest singular video game company. Just period. Brands, IPs, games, consoles, they were the unstoppable juggernaut. And the idea that they would ever be struggling is a joke because they have licensed their IP to the wins, right? Everywhere you go, you see Mario. Everywhere you go, you see Link and Zelda. It's just Nintendo properties are global and they're everywhere. And for anyone to ever think Nintendo's struggling or doesn't need money, including themselves, is baffling. So it's like, what's going on with all these weird patents? And why is Nintendo making these moves to go from being such a good corporation to just Bond levels of villainy? I don't understand. Like, it's wild. It sucks to see a great company fall like that, but just happens, I suppose. They can't all stay great. Like Valve standing strong, I guess, but how long? How long before the that one falls too? I guess once it gets completely bought out, that'll be the final nail in the coffin, I'm sure. But that's it. There you go. Pokemon and Nintendo trying to secure a patent for something that they technically didn't invent, but we'll see where this goes because this is definitely going to be interesting now that uh it's hit US patent. Before we were dealing mostly with Japanese patent law, but now that they've got some crazy shit going on here in the States, it's probably gonna get a little more interesting. We're probably gonna go a little more news. So we're gonna see where this goes. That's all I have for this story. This is your host Belmont, signing out.